Hello and welcome to World of Tanks with Trapsikis. I know some of you will take exception to the fact that I'm playing an arty game, but that is your problem. So I'm playing on the FV304, and because the crew changes between tier 5 and 6, I have an extra loader, which means I don't have brothers in arms anymore, and in effect this is a one skill or first skill crew, no full skills. Right, so I'm a top tier, and it's a small city map, which is ideal for this tank because it has a very short range but a very aggressive gun arc, which means that you can hit people behind buildings when they think you can't, which is a great advantage. Now, back in patch 9.3, this tank received some very negative attention from Wargaming, but I do believe it's fair because it was faster than a lot of medium tanks, and because it's an arty, that's not quite appropriate, and it could get you in situations where you shouldn't really be with an artillery. Whereas now its movement is not quite as fast as a medium tank, but about the same as a heavy tank. And the gun arc is still very good. The reload is a bit slower, and the aiming time is a bit longer. As you'll see, my aiming time is painfully slow, but that is mostly due to my crew not being brothers in arms anymore. Right, so top tier on Siegfried line, and you'll see I do a lot of blind firing where people aren't spotted anymore, but it's so much effort to re-aim, to aim at someone new, that you may as well with this tank shoot, adjust targets and reload. The difference between just aiming again and reloading and aiming again is not big enough to actually warrant doing that, so I do a lot of shooting and hoping. So this M4, I'm hoping that he comes out or the KV-1 comes out, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And so I give up. You see I missed there, and I adjust targets to this bunch. Now here you'll see something interesting happening. The Cromwell and the Hellcat are obviously trying to occupy the same space, so I'm using this to just aim at them. I don't have to aim at either one of them because I know they're both trying to get to the same spot there. My shells will land on one of them. And fortunately, the Hellcat moves away and the Cromwell stays right there where I just hit the Hellcat, so I didn't have to adjust my aim, and when reloaded I could land the next shell. This Chaffee was unfortunate because, as you could see, my shell was a little bit inaccurate there. It traveled to the left of where I was aiming, but that was to my advantage. And there you could see another friendly shell hit, so I knew that the Churchill was stationary, and so I just shot where I was aiming and managed to land a shot. KV-2 unfortunately moves back, and I'm unable to land a shell, but the Hellcat seems keen to go up and down in the same spot, and then of course as I fire he moves. Then you'll see something interesting again here. If you're playing RT, this is something you can use. That Chaffee wreck is moving. Even though nothing's spotted there, I know someone's pushing the corpse. So that shell had a high chance of hitting. Unfortunately, the Hellcat moved around to the back of the shell of the hull there, so I didn't actually hit. Right, so I know the Hellcat's aiming, and I can take him out. So our team doing very well, and as you can see, most of my team is still in the city. There's 2 TDs in the field and 1 light tank or medium tank in the south, but the rest are in the city, which means that we can use cover, we can use the buildings, and we're not going to get picked off easily by the enemy. So well done to the team for actually keeping that in mind and not overextending, which is often the case in this kind of scenario. You're a couple of kills ahead and you think, oh, easy kills, let's rush in for damage, and then you end up being lemminged. Right, Excelsior taken care of, and now once again these two are trying to occupy the same space, making it easier for me to hit them. Unfortunately that one doesn't hit because it goes wide and it goes into the building, but that happens a lot with RT, especially if you're not fully aimed in. Your shell can go almost anywhere in your aiming circle, so don't despair, just try again. And you see I give up there because I know I wasn't going to be fully aimed. This one, again, you're playing artillery, it's not going to always land where you're aiming, so just let it go and try the next target. Also notice a lot of the shots do very little damage. That's because this artillery, I believe, is one of the worst penetrating shots of the tier 6s. So yes, you've got a fast reload, but you're not going to do a lot of damage. So don't try to go for kills, try to go for tracks. Try to assist your team so that you can make a meaningful contribution to the game. If you aim for the kills, then you're probably going to be disappointed because you're only going to either miss like this shot did, or just do some tracking damage. So go for the tracks. Go for tanks that are in positions where they don't really want to be. Track them there and let your team do the rest. Of course, the back of the head of a lower tiered medium is always a sweet spot to hit, and you can do a lot of damage there. Unfortunately, KV1 not moving forward, but moving back. So I noticed this KV2, even though it's a tier 6 heavy, it doesn't have a lot of armor, so my shells should do enough damage to actually eliminate him. And now there's only the one remaining, but we do have someone on cap, and this is also a very good strategy. Keep someone on cap, put the pressure on them, even though there's only one of them. Force them to make mistakes, then they're easier to eliminate. Don't all rush in and give him chance to eliminate you by reloading 1 for 1. Right, so we've capped out, and just for good measure I did lob a shell, but it missed because I wasn't fully aimed in. Alright, let's have a look at the post-game stats. Ace, Tanker, Bruiser, High Caliber, and Top Gun. On the team, you'll notice I'm number 1 on damage, was just over 2,000 damage done. I believe for a Gauze medal, this tank requires 2,240, so I was just short by 100 damage there. But being a tier 6 game, it's very difficult to do that kind of damage. Then on the personal details, you'll notice 10 of my shells didn't even hit. That's because the splash radius on this thing is very, very small for a tier 6 RT. So if you don't hit, chances are you won't do any damage. And I did manage to make a profit even though not running a premium account, and because I didn't receive any damage, there was not a lot of costs involved, only the ammunition. And obviously the first victory for the day granted me quite a bit of XP. So, a couple of tricks for RT. I hope that helped you out. If it did, please consider liking or subscribing to my channel. And thank you for watching.